Greetings, Earthlings! The incredibly long wait of just over a week and a half in between action going on the Rifts is over. Welcome to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys to go over some LPL LCS action from week 1 in summer.
Oh yeah, hey, Europe, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. You guys are coming up this week.
The best region in the world, man!
But the best region in the world, your reward here is having to wait the longest to see your teams play again. We got the LCS action right in here because, hey, we're the MSI losers. That's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, you saved the best for last with next weekend for the LEC. But LCS underway, and you already had Liquid. You thought there would be an MSI hangover, but then on day one, they completely smashed TSM in that highly anticipated finals rematch. So no problems there. Go in against Echo Fox. Should be another smooth sailing win for them. And it looked like it for the first, 10, 15 minutes of the game. And then all of a sudden, Echo Fox showed up in a big way and followed up that spring split upset that they got with another one here in summer.
This was really great to see from Echo Fox. This is a team that, we kind of thought here heading into the split, we might see them stall out towards the beginning and kind of put themselves too far back in the race for playoffs. But this is a huge win early on against the table setters in Team Liquid, the MSI representative for North America. And what I really want to give some props here is to the team fighting of Echo Fox. They absolutely did not shy away from it in this matchup. They knew what strengths they had in their engages and how it needed to work. And hey, major props, 200 IQ on checking into the inventories of the Team Liquid players, seeing which members had the Quicksilver Sash and finding, unfortunately, an Impact that doesn't want to be using the pool on Vladimir. That's not going to help you out whatsoever. I thought Solo played a fantastic game in the top side, quietly been having a really great year for Echo Fox as a whole. And even other members here, I thought Rush did a really great job managing the Skarner in that type of tough situation where, hey, it's hard to pick out which type of target you're going to be going on here and making sure you get that CC. That's all important for your team. Really solid overall team effort from Echo Fox, getting a great upset against Team Liquid.
And especially, Phoenix and Apollo didn't even play. They were in Academy this split. It was Yasui and Lost who came into that starting lineup and came away with that big upset. Yeah, there were some mistakes, obviously, from Liquid. They're not playing at their peak right now. Again, as we expected, with not much of a break coming from MSI. Burnout's going to be a real issue for this squad, but let's give some credit to Echo Fox. They played great.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like a situation maybe that TL had gotten themselves all hyped up to face off against Team Solo, get that rivalry matchup here to start out the split, and then kind of, okay, well, we'll just show up for Echo Fox's match here with the MSI representative here, no problem. And then they forgot about the way that Echo Fox treated them last split here, and they do get the upset. Good work from Echo Fox, Team Liquid. Let's see a little bit more determination next week.
And TSM was looking to bounce back from that shellacking on day one from Team Liquid. And what better than going up against their old rivals in CLG? You heard it all over the broadcast. Counter Logic Gaming cannot beat Team Solo Mid. 2016 Spring Finals. The last time they beat them, the streak lives on, Mark. You just need Hecarim with a bunch of move speed bots.
Yeah, and it pretty much doesn't matter when the Hecarim doesn't even get the engage that he wants here.
Because I think Greg missed every single ulti in this game, by the way.
It didn't matter.
No.
Because even Sven missed a couple of ults here on the Sona. So
Still
it was
practicing the Sona.
Was not the cleanest performance against CLG, but unfortunately for CLG, TSM hasn't needed a clean performance to beat them in the past 2 years whatsoever. They've just shown up and collected the free LG win here. This one didn't look so great early for TSM. I thought that it was a good start from CLG, and especially in the bottom lane, landing a couple of these nice roots here from Biofrost. But that all stopped pretty much 10 minutes onwards into the game. All TSM. TSM with a good bounce back performance. Still need to see more from them. Was very disappointed in their performance to start out the split here against Team Liquid, but a good strong bounce back. And I think good, a really good thing here is that Grig was the jungler to get the victory. Yes, missing on those engages isn't a positive thing here, but you do get a little bit of a confidence boost under your belt here, winning on the LCS stage after a while away from it. Feels pretty good.
And we saw that TSM won't be afraid to sub junglers out in the same weekend. It's not going to be 2 games in a row for each guy. Just whoever performed well. Acadian lost. Grig goes in, and he looked pretty solid. Cloud9 also looked pretty solid in that first week. 1 of 3 2-0 squads. Yeah, they probably had an easier schedule than a lot of the teams, but they did match up against FlyQuest, a top 4 team from last year. And Sneaky had his new haircut coming in, looking real good in that bottom lane. And the solo laners were the standouts for me for Cloud9.
Oh yeah, that was one of the really fantastic things about the way that Cloud9 played, is because, of course, got Sneaky's brand new beautiful haircut down there in the bottom side. And hey, Sneaky in lane this week was pretty darn potent. And I really liked what I saw there from the Cloud9 bottom lane. But you're right, it was all about these solo laners really here that did a lot of the heavy lifting for Cloud9. Licorice, especially Niski, doing some great work here for this squad, and I really think that this is the start that you wanted as Cloud9. Of course, 2-0 is what everyone wants, but the way that you performed, the way that you played and executed things here, that is what you want from your comp. Not what you want is to be missing Pyke ults, because that's what I do, and I'm not an LCS player. Hooney, you gotta hit him. Simple as that.
I mean, NA Pyke is just going to be the new thing to talk about.
We're not EU. We're not that good. We can't be rolling with Pyke.
Let's get away from it. I know Wonder had some meta-changing picks with that Pyke, but obviously it hasn't translated to North America quite yet. But yeah, dominant fashion for C9, really never in doubt in either of those matchups against Clutch and FlyQuest. So they moved to 2-0, and joining them there are the Guardians. You remember their 0-4 start in spring. Not happening this year. And Optic, they always seem to have at least a couple of weeks where you're like, wow, could Optic actually be a playoff team? So they're getting it over with early here. But both these guys moved to 2-0. Which one was more impressive for you?
I don't know, man. This one's tough because I really liked what I saw from Optic Gaming and the way that they played a couple of different styles here. I liked that, instead of pushing Dokla into that split pushing role in the first game, they used Crown more so in that role here in that one. I thought that was interesting. And then when you look at the Golden Guardians, of course, getting the 2-0 after that 0-4 start is a great way for them to do it here. But hey, they did it in the style that we've always been talking about, what we want from Golden Guardians. Froggen playing what he wants, what he's comfortable on, how he is going to define the meta in that game. It doesn't matter what it is for the week here in the LCS. He's defining what happens in the moment in the game, and absolutely was a big performance for Golden Guardians. And I did like also, same from them, Haunster's performance this week was another good standout for the Golden Guardians. Good starts here from both of these squads here, especially Golden Guardians looking to go further in the playoffs, and Optic looking to punch that ticket in.
And much like spring, whenever Optic and 100 Thieves match up, you feel bad for North America as a region because they seem to bring the worst out in each other. And I mean, Optic, they won one team fight, close that one out, and get the win. I think Golden Guardians are more impressive. I think they can be, and a lot of people have talked about this, them being the top team to kind of try and break into that top three, even more so than FlyQuest, and they proved it with the win against them here. Optic, we'll see. I still think they needed more roster changes to be competing for that playoff spot. A team that should be competing for playoffs is 100 Thieves. They should have been there last year. They should have been a top 3 team. They make a change. Amazing comes in. Saligos, maybe a bit of a question mark. Couple of changes. It's the same team. It's not the same team, actually. They look better, but it's still another 0-2 start.
Wait, game one, I'm giving them a pass here. This is one of those type of ones where, hey,
yikes,
you're running out of passes here to give away to 100 Thieves, but I'm giving them the pass on game one, mainly from the point of Amazing apparently.
Can't beat Yuumi, that's what.
Yuumi is gross, but apparently Amazing basically just got into the studio straight from US Customs, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a break there. But in the second game here from 100 Thieves, man, they made a nice choice to go after the Baron pick and to swap out to lose your bottom turret there to Optic. But then they opt in, hey, let's go all in and take this fight here while that we've got the Baron, as opposed to resetting, getting back into base, getting your buys, and pushing out the waves. That was not what 100 Thieves did, which was not a smart choice. That one absolutely can find fault with. And the problem here for 100 Thieves is, yeah, you're getting the pass from me on game one. Game two is a little bit more iffy, but man, week two, you gotta bring some results here because you do not have the patience or the time left in the community here to build up steam for this split. You need to get some results. This team has the expectations to. It's got the players to deliver on some of these expectations, at least in some capacity here, but it hasn't happened yet, and it has to start soon.
And this was supposed to be kind of a somewhat easy week for them to kind of fall into
Same
things.
was week
CLG
one in spring, too.
And Optic, and yeah, another 0-2 start. You're only going to get the better teams going forward. So a lot of question marks for 100 Thieves. It's only 1 week, but we also have a full split of them not delivering, but another 0-2 start for them. We'll see if they can bounce back. Coming up after the break, a little bit of LPL action from week one. You got Invictus Gaming and RNG making their summer split debuts. What is up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. Time for a little Week 1 LPL action. You had the MSI semi-finalists in Invictus Gaming and the defending world champions making their summer split debut against Dominus eSports, aka Sino Dragon from the spring split. Both teams have the same rosters except for today because Baolon out as starting support. Lucas coming in to make his debut with IG. Don't know why this is there, whether it's to give Baolon a break, whether it's for underperforming, because I don't think he was underperforming at all.
You got to be crazy if it's going to be about underperforming here. This was certainly something that, hey, we didn't really get any type of further explanation other than, hey, giving Baolon a break. Dude's been playing for pretty much 3 years straight for us. We're going to be putting in a new support for this one here. And yeah, it is a big question because Baolon had been such a strong performer for IG and not exactly a sore, sticking out type of sore thumb type of situation in the performances at MSI. If you want to blame anyone for MSI, you got to be blaming the entire squad on that letdown in that performance in the semifinals here. But hey, it all looked not so great early for IG, but man, they're finding their way back into this one. They always do.
They should have lost game 1 for sure. They were down 7,000 to 8,000 gold. They were down a Baron. One of those games that, these top teams have no business winning, that they end up doing just that. So then they go up 1-0, and game 2, Dominus were dominant. They should have won that. It should have been 2-0. Should have been 2-0 for these less than rookies now because they have a split under their belt. But then in the third game, it was a lot of back and forth. There was a jinx for Gala in that bottom lane, and IG struggled to close this one out. This was the furthest thing from a clean series that we've seen from them, but they would eventually get it done in game 3, but not exactly confidence instilling.
Right, and this is important to remember that yes, Dominus is a relatively strong squad here in the LPL. Yeah. They are a legitimate contender here to test out IG's strength, but this is not the response that you wanted to see from IG or would have expected from them, given the disappointment of MSI. Because of course, we talk about Team Liquid coming back from MSI and getting stomped by G2 and things like that. It's a completely different story for IG and the disappointment it brought to the LPL fans, losing in that upset to Team Liquid, that type of shame, knowing the the pedigree that this IG team has had, what they've accomplished already. So you needed that bounce back performance, and man, this really didn't look like it yet. Yes, you got the result, and on the scoreboard, that's all that counts. They don't take pictures. But I tell you what, as a fan right now, not happy with the performance, need to be seeing more. And hey, give me my man Baolon back in lane. If he wants to take a rest, hit up a resort and relax for a bit, no problems. But I want to see you out on the Rift doing your work here and helping IG pick up the wins.
Maybe he'll plug in on some Wi-Fi from a resort somewhere else for the next
Hey, it works
week.
for TSM, it can work for IG.
Yeah, why not? You got to take notes from TSM. RNG, they made their split debut over the weekend as well against World Elite, who has been a very up and down team over the last year. RNG obviously made a few roster changes coming into this year. MLXG out. It's all Karsa in the jungle, and Lang X, we know that they have had some struggles with top laners, formerly Zhao. He's back on the squad, RNG, for the first time, and they looked pretty good in their debut. IG was not convincing. RNG looked real solid.
Absolutely, RNG really did deliver the performance of one of these top-level elite LPL squads that you always expect to see from them. And yes, it is WE, and WE is kind of a puzzling situation this year, where at times they've even looked good enough to be in the world top 10 list for us, but then at other times they completely fall off the map and do not bring up those performances. I think this was one of the ones where WE was more than a willing participant here in these fights and was really giving RNG a run for the money sometimes, but absolutely it was, almost without a doubt, RNG always coming out on top in these fights, no matter how close they look. Really a strong performance from RNG. And this is kind of the one that shouts out to me that, hey, yeah, we didn't go to MSI and we're upset about it here. We want to be putting in this type of performance to push us further into the standings for Worlds.
And this might have just been overall the cleanest, most dominant series that they've had in 2019. Yeah. They looked much more as confident and dominant as they did in 2018. It was kind of a flashback to then. Every single lane was pretty much dumpstering, which even Uzi wasn't doing that to this nearly the same degree that we saw in 2018. So RNG much better in their debut than IG. FPX also made their debut over the season in a rematch, or over the weekend, excuse me, rematch versus JD, who stole their playoff hopes and dreams, and man, did FunPlus get some revenge on them. They completely wiped the rift with JD Gaming. Clearly there was a little bit of relief that they were able to destroy them.
It's gonna feel bad because I think someone's gonna get the opinion that I don't like JD Gaming, where I really do like them and I admire a lot of the things they did. But man, I got a little bit of a vendetta alongside my boy Doing B in the mid lane. Gotta get that payback here. You stopped the train of Doing B heading over to MSI to try and upset Europe's power, but now doesn't matter because Doing B's looking for that ticket to Worlds, and this is just part of that next step onwards here, picking up the convincing win with his squad here, FunPlus Phoenix.
And I think people were just a little bit disappointed because we didn't see the same insanely aggressive balls to the wall FunPlus in the playoffs that we did in the regular season. But that's exactly what we got.
Oh, it was
here.
back big time, baby.
Oh, it was back in game 1 and 2 of the summer split. JD had absolutely no chance. 42-7 in kills in 2 games. Is that good? Can we confirm if that's good?
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give that one the seal of approval. That one's good. And you know who else thinks it's good? I'm telling you what, Doing B's wife was there supporting, like always, and it is a great sign. Love this squad, love that support, love this relationship. Gotta love FunPlus Phoenix. Hey, get these wins and I'm feeling real happy.
Hey, married life has been very good to Doing B and the rest of the boys on FunPlus. They start their 2019 summer campaign 1-0. Coming up after the break, the ProView experience hits the Rift, and I would say to pretty good success. We'll see what the future has for this interesting change. We are back. This is League Unlocked. That's Mark, and my name is Eric as we look back at week 1 in the LPL and the LCS, and it was the first week of the ProView viewing experience. Yes, you could have looked back at the MSI event, but this was the first time you were looking at it live, and overall, I'd say it adds a unique experience. It was a pretty positive first week for it.
This is one of those things that League has been looking for a while here.
Begging for.
A type of way to try and add additional type of content, additional type of viewership here, while also providing a way to get money here from the fans in a type of situation. Because of course, as we know as businesses, yes, Twitch, YouTube, it's all great. Everyone can get on there and watch for free. But if you know you've got some fans here who are willing to spend a little bit of money here on an extra type of feature or two, this is the great type of complementary features that you can have. And this is something that does add quite a bit to your viewing experience as a fan, someone who is maybe a little bit more dedicated, a bit more into watching the interactions here between certain players, certain perspectives here. This was a great one here, a great example of how Solo manages this team fight, distances himself, uses the abilities, manages everything else here. This was a strong view here in the Pro View, and I think also the great thing about it, great for memes. We've been getting some great views of the personalities.
I just want all chat.
Right, that's the best thing. You get the view of the personalities of these players. You get to see that, yes, this is serious. Yes, this is LCS, and these games do matter. But of course, at the end of the day, it's still League of Legends. It's still a game. Gotta have fun in it here. And of course, if that means that you get to throw a little bit of shade at your mid laner, roll in with aftershocks here, I'm all about that in all chat.
And Skarner, the Lysandra of the jungle. Jensen, maybe we just follow Jensen's chat logs for the entirety of the game.
Just need Jensen and Rush together all the time.
Yeah, at all times. And Sneaky and Rush can get thrown in there as well. But I still don't know why Riot doesn't do stuff like this with Twitch. Maybe obviously they want more attention to the LoL eSports side of things. But if you're a sub on Twitch, gives people something like this. But you can't even sub to Riot Games. Yeah. Why would you want to sub to a channel that has 3 billion views?
Hey, we're making some progress here. We're getting something here like ProView, which definitely gives you a little bit more of an analytical side, as well as a little bit more fun with the all chat as well here. I think this is working out well. I think the price point seems okay so far, but I definitely want to see more features added to something like this and to keep expanding in this realm here for League of Legends as a business moving forward.
Put all the League emotes as Twitch emotes when you sub. Come on.
You still got to catch up to the LPL broadcast and their level of interactivity.
I don't think they'll ever catch up to that one. They're just too far ahead. But the Academy boys are getting to the level of LCS. You saw this weekend Team Liquid Academy versus TSM Academy. They played on Sunday after all the LCS games, and they actually got to go on the stage. My question is, why don't you just play every Academy game on the stage, even if there's 12 fans there?
I really think that it would be in the best interest of League of Legends, of Riot Games, and of the LCS here to do any of those moves here, because I'm telling you what, it doesn't matter how small you might actually think it is. I tell you what, there would be a good number of thousands of people that want to watch a professional style broadcast for the academy scene. They want to get to know some of these players that are up and coming. They want to follow this talent. They want to follow their teams, the organizations that they support here, even at this level. This is something that is very basic in the realm of sports and organized play. And this is something that I think is a bit lacking in the academy scene. That yes, we have it here. Yes, you're developing some talent, providing them a good space here, but also you haven't really used it as a tool to your fan base here, which of course is happy and hungry for more League of Legends at almost any point here. Give us more academy games. One is a good start here, get some good exposure on that main broadcast, but let's get more.
Thursdays and Fridays, it can't be that hard or that expensive to put on a cheap broadcast, and then people can see where the ghosts of former pros like Darshan and Hui are hanging out on Golden Guardians Academy. You know, they're still out there. There's a lot of big names that are actually in the Academy League right now. We saw Mike Young yesterday, so give some more love to the Academy from the LCS. LOL eSports Player of the Week for Week 1. The honors went to Licorice on Cloud9. I think deservedly so. He was an absolute animal. And, you know, it's always been sneaky in lane is kind of the meme. It's starting to be Licorice in lane, lol, because he'll get into some serious deficits. But then after that, as soon as team fights come around, this guy can completely carry a game.
That's what one of the things about Licorice that has been so incredible to watch him develop here is, yes, sometimes the laning phase can be quite entertaining and adventurous for someone like Licorice. No, and that's adventurous in the good.
Adventurous is not good in context.
Exactly, that's good and bad here because it's going both ways at the times that Licorice is playing here. But when he is on here and when you're getting into these team fights as the game goes on, man is a monster in his ability and just the blood sense here to get into right where he needs to be in the fight, deal out the damage, deal out the CC, things like that. He is unbelievable in these team fights. It really is such a strength for Cloud9 when they can get through all these other parts of the game and then group up together and really put a force like that with someone like Licorice that can get behind you, get that flank on you, and really swing around that fight. Great first week from him for Cloud9.
Mark coining the term blood sense. That better be an ability name already. If it's not, make a new champion based solely around that. LPL OP5, you had Licorice standing out in North America. These were the 5 guys we selected from the LPL in Week 1. No one from IG, because that series was just way too messy. We got 3/5 of FPX because they, again, put on an absolute slaughter. Karsa was a madman in the early game for RNG, and your boy Kramer. We forgot about him in the LPL. He is slugging away on LGD. He had a couple of 1v9 performances on Lucian. I feel bad for him. He's too good to be sitting at the slums of the LPL.
That's the hard part here, right? Is because as we talk about the LPL, such a fantastic region, and especially at the top, elite level teams that you want to be on or playing up against here. And when you look at where Kramer is, and it's like, oh, well, your performance is there. Your team is not there, and that is an unfortunate thing here, but great week from him. And as well, got to give shout-outs to my boy, Doing B in the mid lane, picking up that another here Player of the Week thing with here in the LPL. And hey, of course, if we had a Supporter of the Week for the LPL, Doing B's wife, of course, every week.
I think she'd be there every week, locked in week 1 to 10, or however many regular seasons there are there. But you saw Fun Plus. I mean, pretty much everyone had over 20 KDA. That's approaching Chovy levels. So you
dangerous.
Know, it was only LPL and LCS this week, but next time we're recapping on a Monday. We'll have the LEC and the LCK. We're only getting started. That's all the time today, though. For League Unlock, Erica, Mark, thanks for hanging out. See you guys next time.